That moves us nicely to the Q&A section, which means I'll open it up to you and continue with the questions. I'm sure you've got quite a few to all three speakers. Over to you. Yes.
As far as, I assume a lot of this is happening during the school day?
Yeah.
So what is that taking time away from otherwise that these kids would be doing? Or is it fitting in with some curriculum expectations, like
Yes, me specifically?
health or any of them?
Well, we'll get, I think, all
Okay, sure.
three panelists, whoever's got.
I'll jump at that first then. We try not to take this, that's why I try kids in small groups as opposed to an entire classroom.
Okay.
And at that rate, you can pull them away for half an hour. And
I see.
you know, in most cases, I mean, I've asked that question too, and Padma, the teacher from the science class that I work with most frequently, she just says, just send them home to do that assignment. It just becomes homework as opposed to classwork. So we try and take them in small amounts when we can and sort of address it that way.
Okay.
And when I'm working with kids with mental and physical disabilities, a lot of times, like that classwork is really where you're generating a lot of those marks for them. So I do sort of have a grading system so that we sort of replace those marks somewhere else, and then we try and sneak in the education there.
In our model, we pitch either a 1 or 2 period workshop format to teachers with their classes with curriculum links usually to science. And they choose how they want to integrate that into the classroom. So we are basically supporting their curriculum wherever they are. And a lot of it is grade 3 plants and soils, or it could be grade 2 air and water in the environment, grade 1 living things, you know, the, habitats and communities in grade 4. We're mainly K to 6, so usually it's the science link, but a lot of teachers use it as cross-curricular, and they do procedural writing or art or social studies using the garden experience. So because they're homeroom teachers, they are already cross-curricular, so in primary, so it's actually just adding to their curriculum as an experiential piece.
Yes.
And mine will be through core French, so I'll only see the students for 1 period a day, which makes it a challenge. I'll take the whole class out, but then I'll work with a group of 4 students while the rest of the class is doing 1 or 2 other projects, which can sometimes be a management issue, but as long as they're busy with 1 or 2 different projects, it is working out. And I'll often work with another teacher, the homeroom teacher, and we'll do something where they then move it to their classroom.
Yeah.
I, as a parent, volunteer with our breakfast program at our school, which we do 3 days a week. And if we were to, we have a garden that is attached to our school that our children participate in, but we have a lot of guidelines surrounding what foods we're actually able to serve the kids through these programs. Do you encounter any of those problems with your cafeterias in that, I mean, our producers, like our local farmers, are a small community, our local farmers have to go through a vetting process and, you know, all of that to adhere to the ministry standards before we can bring those foods into the school to serve them. So is there like a, you know, go around for schools to be able to do that, or do you encounter any limitations of that?
I can say that in our case at York Humber High School, the culinary arts teacher who does all the prep work for the cafeteria for lunchtime is the one who's commissioning all this to be grown. So I think it's really, at this point, I think it's just doing it and hoping that, if anything, he has to ask for forgiveness rather than permission, to be honest. But I'm sure everything's up to snuff. I mean, I think he could answer that question a little bit better than I could, but direct answer to your question, we've never had to deal with any of that.
Does he give you an indication in terms of what you should be growing?
I asked him, what do you want for, you know, the next couple of months? And he's like, oh, we're going to do some more samosas, so he's probably going for more kale, and we're doing less of the salad bars. We also package up the lettuce and sell it for $1 at lunchtime to kids. So they just take it and then they bring it home to their families. And we either get compliments or, yeah, we generally it's compliments.
You're growing fruits and vegetables, correct?
All vegetables, yeah.
Yeah, so there shouldn't be anything that's that be contraindicated or that they would say, well, don't grow those fruits in there? Is that what you're thinking? Like,
No, it's just, so,
What
say
what board is this?
it's, Brent Halton Norfolk, the Catholic board. So say I'm going out to purchase something for breakfast, for instance, and I wanted to purchase apples. In our model, those apples have to come from a farm or a grocery store that has been vetted, that adheres to all of the health standards outlaid through the ministries, the various ministries. So I can't just say I know, Sue, who has an apple farm and she's willing to give me all these apples. I can't go to Sue unless she's went through that process.
she has to be like an approved vendor for that particular
Right.
board.
So if we're growing it ourselves, does that skip the approved vendor component, or does that add another layer of complexity to trying to do that? I guess.
I think there's a regulation that needs to have a variance applied for school-grown foods, or there's a regulation in under Ministry of Agriculture or something where they cannot just supply, and you can see why. You don't want farms just dumping produce on schools and there's no testing and you don't know, the origin of that food. It makes sense that there is some protection from a food safety standpoint, but there should be a variance in terms of school food programs that are accessing local food. And I think that's just, it's an advocacy piece that, some boards are aware of that regulation and some are not. And so, for example, we've never had an issue with providing school garden grown food to our partner cafeterias inside the school. Nobody's ever said anything. So it's just unequal application of that regulation, and clearly there should be some kind of variance for food that students have grown. And partner farms that, like your friend Sue with the apple orchard, there should be ways to overcome that sort of restrictive aspect. Anyway, it's public health piece.
I'm just wondering about like the organic, like where does this fall on the organic?
You mean the hydroponics?
Yeah.
Okay, the latest information I've received on this, because I've asked a number of times, is that they're in development with a process for certifying something as being organic. In my experience, it takes, hydroponics as organic. In order to, Sunday, you might be able to chime in on this. My understanding previously was that for soil grown, you had to be certified. It was 7 years. You had to establish that you were growing organically for 7 years before you can be considered certified organic. You can claim organic, and then certified organic takes 7. And with hydroponics, everything we do is at the same standards as certified organic, but they don't actually have a proper policy in place to handle that yet. So once that changes, maybe we'll go through the effort of getting that stamp saying certified organic. But we use non-GMO seeds. We don't even have chlorine in our water. We remove the chlorine from the water before you put it in the system. So it's as healthy and organic and as something can get. But at this point, I have no interest in going for that certified label. That sounds like it's way more trouble than it's worth for our sake. Yeah. I would imagine the journey to get there.
Let me throw in on that one, because we actually are certifying 2 of our gardens organic. And the reason for that is we were offered a revenue stream if we could provide certified organic calendula, which is like one of the easiest plants to grow in the world, to a colleague of ours who would purchase that from us if it were certified organic. So we ended up embarking on that process. It was very inexpensive, and we will be certified by next growing season. It's a 15-month process. If you can verify that you haven't used prohibited substances on that land for the period of time, and because we have been gardening on that land and there's no prior chemical agriculture, etc. Now, the hydroponic being certified as organic is fairly controversial. I think it just passed barely at USDA organic standards in the last month. And so there's a lot of conversation about that, about hydroponic, can it, and it has been voted by the USDA Organic Standards Board that sets those things, that it can be certified. So probably Canada will follow suit
Yeah.
because they want organic standards to be the same across the border. I wouldn't say the issue has gone away because of the origin, the issue of the inputs. So that, it's a conversation that will probably continue. Some people are very opposed, but it did pass. So your towers can be certified organic as of this month.
Nice.
Say what?
So sadly we have run out of time, I'm afraid, and I don't want to keep you here forever because I'm sure you've got other sessions to go to. Oh, there we
You
go.
have about 2 minutes.
Oh, 2 minutes.
Sorry. Nice.
Well, I guess that leaves us with one more question. Or you have a comment or?
I was just gonna, is there something else? Go ahead.
I have one question as well. I run a breakfast club at our school as well, and my hurdles aren't necessarily where to get the food, although I definitely hear where you're coming from. Mine is, I'm not even allowed to cut food in our school. Like, it's the production. We don't have, I'm not from Toronto district, and we don't have kids, we don't have cafeterias. I don't know, schools generally all have cafeterias here? Okay. Cafeteria. We don't have that at all.
No.
We have like a little staff kitchen, and we had a health inspector come last year, and we're not even supposed to cut my watermelon before in the school because we don't meet up to standards. So I look at all your beautiful food and I think, what would I do with it? And I'm inspired and I want to use it, but I don't know where I could possibly cook it or
Because
put
of
it
your
together.
location, so the health
Yes.
inspector, when they came and they said you cannot use it, it's because of the location of what you have? Did they tell you what you need to get it up to
They
code?
did. It was last year that they came and
Go
they
and
said,
ask.
we'll
Yeah.
come back to
Yeah.
you.
Go
So
and ask and
my
say, what do we
family
need to get
owns
this to
a
code?
catering business, and so far, we have the same health inspector, and so far, we are just doing everything in our store right now, because I'm the one who runs it anyway, but it's not feasible to continue to do that. Like, I'm not even allowed to cut my cheese there in the morning before school starts. I'm supposed to do it, I'm gonna do. But most of the things that we cut up and things we do in our store instead, so I just feel like I don't know, that would be a huge hurdle, if I don't know what I would do with all this food.
Just go back and ask them and say, okay, what is it? What's wrong with this kitchen that we are not able to do?
I know some of it was sinks and dishwashing and things
Yeah.
like that, which those are gonna be huge hurdles though to replace. Like, we only have 2 little sinks in our room there, and a little oven that doesn't work, and I don't know, I feel like that would be a huge financial hurdle in a lot of different ways.
I'd say that unless your admin really wants to prioritize that, you're not gonna have much
No.
success. So that would be where I would start first, is going through not just your local admin, like at your school, but like go to their council meetings, like speak to their superintendents in the area and make them aware of the loss of, any type of program, like anything the 3 of us have ever operated, will never come to your school, could never succeed there without that. So why would they handcuff themselves in that regard?
I
There's
feel
gotta be
like
some sort
they
of
don't
investment.
really care about that though. I've been pushing a school garden at our school a long time, and
Bring 'em here then.
I'm constantly squashed by admin, and even other people, they're like, oh, we don't need, I live out in the country, most of our kids, a lot of our kids are from farms, and they tell me all the time, we don't need a school garden, kids don't need to learn about that. It just blows my mind. And so I really feel like my concerns to admin would just be squashed, because we don't need a school garden.
Rally
Somebody
the
should
parents.
bring them to the
School council,
Yeah.
yeah. Go
And
school
I am,
council,
I'm the
yeah.
school council
Rally
mom,
on
but.
council, yeah, get parents involved.
And it was a lot of parents that I got that feedback from too. They're like, well, we're farm kids, we don't need, we're farm kids, we don't need that.
But a lot of farm kids are not
No,
growing
No, they're
vegetables
not.
at home anymore.
no, they're not. That's what I try
Or
to get
learning
through,
to
yeah.
cut watermelons.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
the kids want it? Do the kids want?
I don't know, actually.
Because another
Maybe if I
I'll
push
answer
it
that,
through the
yes.
kids,
Go
yeah.
to a Healthy Schools Club and try and get a Healthy Schools Club started.
We
in the
are
school.
being certified as a healthy school right now, like we're going through that whole process, so I could
So that
probably
could be,
bring
especially
it.
if you do your surveys,
Yeah.
and if you do surveys from the students, and if a lot of them say we would really like to start a school garden and try and get it that way, to do that.
That's a good idea. Thank you.